Hey guys, it's me, Carly, coming at you with another video. And I just did a video on the coddling of white people slash characters and how it all is connected. And I linked Melina Pendulum's video in that video I just mentioned. And I thought I would do a more lighthearted video. And it's going to be about Bratz versus Barbie, or Barbie versus Bratz, and my thoughts on tree change dolls. And I drank most of my water. And I'm sorry if I ramble because this is like my 11th time trying to record this video because I just wasn't feeling it in my other one. So hopefully I can just push through this video. And I felt inspired to make this video because my boyfriend and I have been discussing Bratz and Barbies because he's cool like that, and he's mainly into feminine things, and we both played with dolls as children. But that's okay because boys can like playing with dolls, and yeah. And I've been watching a lot of doll videos, like mainly Everything Dolls, the producer, the creator of Everything Dolls channel is named Kelsey, and then Miss Froggy stuff, and the Doll Boy. Those are the three main doll channels I've been watching, and I just love all of their videos. So shout out to you guys, and shout out to my boyfriend, the Wicked Merman, here on YouTube and on Tumblr, and Azula Lover 1. Or just the Azula Lover on DeviantArt. I can't even remember his own name. It's Azula Lover 1 and then Katara Lover on FanPop. So shout out to him. I love you, Chris. Anyways, so Bratz versus Barbie. The battle of the dolls or franchises. MGA versus Mattel, or Mattel versus MGA, however you want to put it. So I grew up playing with both Bratz and Barbies because I was around 6 years old when Bratz first came out. And I just thought they were so cool and so pretty. And luckily my mom was not one of those conservative feminists that didn't let me play with Bratz. And she's like, ew, they're called Bratz. Why would you want to play with those? I would never. They're just like over-sexualized and they're like 2-bit whores. And I'm like, okay. Because these are some of the comments I've seen in regards to tree change. But before I get into my thoughts on tree change dolls, here are my thoughts on Bratz versus Barbie, or Barbie versus Bratz, or whatever, because Barbie came first, but who cares? So I grew up more watching Barbie movies and I even have a Clara Barbie ornament, and that was my boyfriend messaging me, so sorry if you hear that swishy thing in the background. Anyways, my favorite thing about Barbie are the Barbie movies, and of course I did grow up loving the doll. I still love the doll to this day. And let's talk about Barbie first before we get into Bratz, because I have a lot more to say about Bratz. Or maybe I have a lot more to say about both. But Barbies, they both start with B, by the way, is that I do like the fact that Barbies have feet. I know. And they have like a variety of feet. And I do love Barbie movies. Barbie and the Nutcracker, Barbie Princess Swan, The Island Princess, Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, and even the musical Barbie Princess and the Pauper, as the Princess and the Pauper. And that's the only one that doesn't have a magical transformation as to date. But anyways, Barbie movies are very nostalgic for me, and I love the animation and the scores. And when Barbie has when she has to transform, like Barbie as Rapunzel, when the dress scene, and it goes oh my gosh, that score, just listening to it just gives me chills, and it's so beautiful. The animation I mean, yeah, the animation doesn't really hold up well, and it's kind of crap compared to now, because I'll give it a break because it was made in like 2001 and 2000, in the early 2000s. But still, they will always hold a special place in my heart, and they're very nostalgic to me, and I just love them so much. And I had my mom's old Barbies, and I'm so mad at myself for giving away my dolls. But watching doll collecting videos just really inspired this video, and watching Sorry Jen next. And another thing about Barbies is that Barbies back in the day were criticized for their unrealistic body proportions. So they did get better at making articulated Barbies, meaning like not just Barbies that move like this, like bendy elbows, bendy wrists, knees, and ankles. And they also did get better at diversifying body types, like curvy Barbie, tall Barbie, petite Barbie, average Barbie, or like normal body Barbie, and then curvy Barbie. And so that does get better. But the cons of Barbie to me is that every character of color that Barbie has made just feels more like they're there to fill a diverse quota, and Barbie is still the main center of the dolls. And like other dolls don't get as much of attention, and that's what Bratz have over Barbies. And also, Barbie characters have been changed out, because I've been doing my research. So before Kelly, you had Tootie and Todd, who were Barbie's twin brother and sister. Little brother and sister, they were twins. But then, or you only had Tootie. And then you had Shelly, who's basically Kelly in other countries. And then Kelly. And then you changed out Shelly/Kelly for Chelsea. So the fact that Barbie characters are kind of interchangeable like that, or you can replace characters, I really am not a fan of that. It's kind of like recasting characters in shows or movies. Like on Ned's Declassified, Bitsy. Before there was Misty, there was Bitsy, and the actress has changed, and the character's name changed, and my leg is falling asleep, so. Ow, and I'm kind of sitting crooked, and I'm trying not to do this neck thing. But anyways. And then you had Christy, the black Barbie, Barbie's black friend. And I don't know if you like changed her out or just added a new character, but it's more likely that you changed her out for Nikki. So Nikki is the other black Barbie. And it's just like, you couldn't have just added Nikki instead of just, you couldn't have just made Nikki an additional character instead of just swapping her out with Christy. I don't know, because it was Christy and then you swapped out Christy for Nikki. And another thing about Barbie I really don't like is how there is a lack, I mean, yes, they're getting better, but there isn't as much focus as Barbie. Is that the other characters of Barbie don't seem to have their own personality. They just seem to be wearing the same outfits as Barbie, but in different colors. And there's not a lot of male characters in the Barbie world, unless you're talking about Barbie movies, like Hayden, Eric, Derek. I forget the other character's name. Oh, sorry. I need to crack my knee, but it's kind of bothering me. And it's just like, and there's not a lot of ethnic guys. I mean, yes, they have gotten better at making black male dolls. And Mattel does make their own Disney dolls. But just like, you need to do better. And the other thing about Barbie I really don't like is the lack of diversity in movies. I mean, Yeah, there's a few characters of color sprinkled in, but they're just token characters as far as I'm aware. Like, there's Barbie and the Three Musketeers, and yes, there's like an Asian and a black person, a black woman. And then there is the one Indian guy, or is he Romanian? I don't know what race he is, but I think he's Indian because he's wearing a turban, and Barbie is the Nutcracker. But there is not a lot of diversity in Barbie movies. And for me, as a woman of color, as a mixed woman, I want to see more brown people in media. Whereas, and not just be the token and not just be there to move along white character storylines. Because that just, it just really annoys me. I want them to be main characters. I want them to get equal treatment, equitable treatment to their white counterparts. And that's why I resonate now more with Bratz. And I only watched the cartoon Brat movie. Well, I mean, the animated Brat stuff. But the 2D animation, which they need to do better, by the way, in drawing black characters, especially Sasha, because you really lighten her up as much as... You make her as light as Yasmin. And I'm like, Sasha's supposed to be brown to dark skin. So, yeah. But Barbie has gotten better, but they don't articulate their male characters. And by articulate, I mean make them jointed, because Ken dolls are always like this. So the lack of articulated dolls, Mattel, you need to do better on that. And not just articulate the male Ken dolls that are based off of characters. So, my thing on Bratz and why they are so innovative and just so fascinating is because they don't represent upper class white women, or what an upper class white person would be, because they're more relatable to people of color, because the Bratz dolls are just 75% of people of color, and yes, there are white characters. Of course there are. White, black, brown, Latina, Filipino, more characters of color. And the main characters are Sasha, the main black character of the group, then Jade, the main Asian character of the group, and then Yasmin, who was named after the creator's daughter, Jasmine, which is, I read according to Sora Gen Next's blog, is that Yasmin is actually the Israeli/Arabic version of Jasmine, but she is supposed to be Hispanic, so that's pretty cool. And Chloe, of course, the main white female character, the white hair, blonde hair, blue eyes. But the thing about the Bratz, the four main Bratz, is that there's not just one main character. It's that each character is a different race, and they represent a different race. And they're not just stereotypes. Well, they kind of are, but they kind of are not. But it's not just focused on one character. All of the characters of color have equal footing, and they're more relatable to teen characters. Because dolls either look like little children or they look like adults, and there's like nothing in between for teen characters or tweens or whatever. And they each have their own unique fashion sense, which I really love. And they have their cool nicknames. Chloe's is Angel, Yasmin's is Pretty Princess, Sasha's is Bunny Boo, and Jade's is Cool Cat, and I really do love it. I do love that about the Bratz dolls. And yeah, they wear makeup. By the way, Bratz makeup is a good place to get inspiration if you ever want to do fun makeup. Just take inspiration from the Bratz, because I do love their makeup and their outfits, because it's very urbanish. Well, they're meant to look urban. which is where a lot of people of color reside. And another thing about Bratz is that their music is amazing. Like, I love Bratz music because it's like poppy, very pop, hip hop, rock. I know I just rhymed. And they're very multifaceted characters, and they each have their own dreams and goals. But Bratz music is very urban, like Evanescent sounding vibe, TLC, Destiny's Child, Pussycat Dolls, which, by the way, the Pussycat Dolls sing the theme song. And Bratz aren't just entitled rich girls. Like, for Barbie, she represents white privilege and white richness, whereas Bratz really don't. And they have their own unique style, which I really love. And how parents find it inappropriate, I don't know. And the word Bratz, can we take a minute to acknowledge the word Bratz? Because a big reason parents won't let their kids play with Bratz dolls, or didn't let their kids play with Bratz dolls, is because of how they were called brats. I wouldn't let my kid play with a Bratz dolls. Why would you call a kid a Bratz doll? Or why would you name a toy Brat? Ugh, that's just so beyond me. And I'm like, okay. Bratz is like the word bitch and queer. Because I don't know how people still feel about the word queer, but as far as I've seen, the words bitch and queer were taken as negative meanings. They were negative slurs and derogatory terms, and they were meant to insult people. But they took the word back and empowered it. I need water, damn it. Sorry, I get a little parched from talking because I ramble so much. But anyways, bitch and queer were negative words meant to insult people. But from what I've seen, like, oh, that woman's such a fucking bitch. Oh, you're a bitch. You're mean. But the way the word bitch is used now, oh yeah, Iris West Allen, the baddest bitch of all. It's positive. It's a positive word, or the word queer is all encompassing to the to the LGBT community. I apologize if the word queer still offends some people, but people have taken the word queer and made it into something positive. And that's what the girls did with the word Bratz. Bratz. Comment your acronym down below. But my acronym is for the Bratz is brave, resilient, ambitious, tenacious, and zealous. Because that's what the Bratz girls are. And for people to say that they're over-sexualized or that they look too urban or dress inappropriately, how? Because from what I've seen the Bratz girls wear, they're supposed to be teenagers. They wear mostly baggy jeans, which I'm wearing a pair and I'm like too lazy to get up, that go to their ankles. Baggy capri pants that go just above the ankle, or they wear bell-bottom jeans. They wear bandanas. I mean, sure, they show a little shoulder and they show a little bit of a midriff, but they're not overly sexualized, because you literally have they literally have made pregnant Barbies. Mattel has made pregnant Barbies, and there is a pregnant baby doll. Yes, the baby, it's called Baby's First Baby, and it's a pregnant doll that's a baby itself, and the fetus it comes with is also pregnant. Yeah, just let that sink in for a moment. But somehow Bratz dolls are criticized for being over-sexualized. And I've also seen people say brats are two-bit whores who seduce men and they're superficial and that they teach people about materialism. And I'm like, have you ever watched the show? Because, also, by the way, do not, if you want an accurate representation of what brats are like, I recommend watching the Bratz TV show with Bardeen and the Tweevils, which is a parody, which, by the way, Bardeen is supposed to be a parody of Barbie and their way of making fun of Barbie. But if you watch the Bratz show, there's not a lot of that going on. And they're teenagers who like to wear makeup, which it's going to lead me to my tree change rant. But another pro about Bratz, what Bratz have over Barbie is that there's multiple male characters also with their own style and their own personality. Cameron and Dylan, Ethan and Bryce are the main ones. And there's also more dolls of color in the Bratz line. And there's more male Bratz. There's more male characters within the Bratz franchise than there are in the Barbie franchise, because Barbie just has Ken, and then you have the Bratz boys, which there's multiple boys in the Bratz, and they're each of a different ethnicity and race, and I really like that. But, and cons before I get into the Bratz, is that with Bratz dolls, they come with pegs. They're not really articulated. And they drive parents crazy, which is both a pro and a con. But Bratz come with feet that are very easy to lose unless you put them in a plastic baggie. And they're kind of hard to come across these days because of parents. And the 2015 Bratz I've seen, they just don't have the oomphness. They don't have the oomph factor. Their faces are very sweet looking, and Bratz are like known for their bold outfits and style, and some of the Bratz shorts I've seen on like the Bratz miniseries or the stop motions, they made Chloe stupid. A stupid blonde chick, and Jade very they just feel like empty shells of themselves, and it's just, ew. No! Bratz represent minorities, outcasts, people of color, even tomboys like the Bratz dolls, and felt inspired by them because they don't fit the mold of what other people want. And that's what makes Bratz dolls so amazing. Now, on to tree change dolls. What are tree change dolls, you ask? Well, they are mainly Bratz. They're basically recycled Bratz dolls with their faces all wiped off and repainted to look more down to earth and natural. And they're ugly. Like, you took a perfectly good Bratz doll and wiped her face off to wipe off all the makeup, and I'm like, "Nyeh!" And you know, in general, I wouldn't have such an issue with tree change dolls. But my issue is in regards to the parents who praise tree change dolls and who shit on Bratz dolls, calling Bratz two-bit whores, saying they reduce men. But if they watched the show, they would know that Bratz are entrepreneurs. They make their own luck. They have they travel the world, and they're mostly about friends. And yeah, they do like boys, but they're not just relegated to being a love interest. They are their own people. They have their own personalities. They like different things, but they're still friends. And they have their own magazine together because Jade gets fired from Bardeen's magazine. So she starts her own magazine with her friends. And yeah, they have to make money and have to keep up their grades. And you know what? The parents like tree change dolls because they look down to earth And they don't want their kid playing with something called a Bratz dolls, or how Bratz dolls are over sexualized. And a lot of the mentality of parents who hate on Bratz dolls have the slut shaming mentality. And like, oh, they have the, oh, she asked for it mentality. And I don't like that at all. Because Bratz, and it's also kind of low-key racist because it's mainly women of color or little girls of color who are over-sexualized and are seen as, like, a white person will be wearing this, could be wearing the same thing as a black person, but the black person is considered over-sexual. And it's really irritating and annoying. And tree change dolls, in my personal opinion, are just, they're ugly. And they strip away individuality of what Bratz are supposed to be. Like, and also, with tree change dolls, the woman making them, like, dolls that are hard to find, like, really rare dolls that people want to add to their collection, she'll get there and wipe off their faces and make them down to earth. And it just was like, that could be going to a doll collector who was looking for that doll, and you're just taking a rare doll, wiping its face off to make it a more down to earth look just because you don't like it wearing makeup. And it also, and tree change dolls also kind of send the message that you have to look a certain way for boys to respect you, and like wearing makeup is over-sexualized. Big pouty lips are over-sexualized because you're also shrinking their lips and rounding out their eyes. Because you also raised Yasmin's under eye mole, which that is fucking annoying too. But that's what distinguishes them. And you are also wiping off beauty marks the dolls may have. Like Emmy is a doll that looks like Chloe, but she has a mole, a beauty mark. And you've just wiped that off. No! You are stripping away a doll's individuality and their fashion and just dressing them up in more country-ish, like, clothing. And making them innocent looking because you think it will be more appeasing to children. And according to Sorry Jen's video, nobody ever picked up tree change dolls. No one. There's nothing really unique about tree change dolls. This is just my personal opinion again. Because tree change dolls just look like American Girl dolls or Our Generation dolls or Journey Girl dolls or American Girl dolls. And I'm just like, if I wanted an innocent looking doll, I would just go get a American Girl or not a tree change, an Our Generation doll or a Journey Girl doll. And another thing about tree change is, like, you're making girls, you are kind of stripping away, no, not kind of, you are stripping away representation to urban communities who saw themselves in Bratz dolls. Because Bratz dolls are not meant to look realistic. They're meant to be cartoon looking. And you're stripping away their personalities, I think, by just wiping off their faces. You're stripping away what makes them unique and what makes them different from other dolls, because they're fashion dolls. And saying a girl wears too much makeup doesn't deserve respect, or saying a girl wears a certain style of clothing and saying she doesn't deserve respect is the message I get from it. And it's very annoying. And it's kind of like detrimental to other girls' self-esteem as well. I mean, these are the same people who are like, okay, we shouldn't judge a book by its cover, or we shouldn't judge based on appearance. But then with tree change dolls and parents praising them, that is exactly what they're doing with Bratz dolls in particular. It's not just Bratz dolls. It's like other dolls, like Disney dolls, like Elsa and Anna, which are, they just don't look right. And it's like there was nothing wrong with the Bratz dolls. They are all about glitz and glam, and you make you take Jade and you just make her look like a white girl, which you can't even tell she's Asian. I mean, sometimes you can tell like with the way her eyes are slanted, because most Asians have slanted eyes. And Jade's really light skinned in general. But you strip away diversity and individuality from these dolls, and they're not unique in any way. They're just boring. I mean, good for you if you want to paint the dolls. And you make their eyes really small for their face, and you paint their lips really small for their face. When Bratz are supposed to have big lips, and for some reason, big lips are over sexualized, and big lips are often not found, mostly black women have big lips. And I'm sorry, but the way you painted Felicia, the dark skinned black doll, like really dark complected doll, she's so beautiful, and you took her face and you kind of made her look like, I don't want to sound mean when I say this, you kind of made her look like a slave, and I really just, they just all look generic and the same. They don't have unique makeup. You wipe off their faces, you take away their makeup, and they're supposed to be individuals. And tree change dolls are just not for me personally. I mean, if you want to get a tree change doll, fine. But like, just remember, you stripped away what made a Bratz doll, and you completely undercut the meaning of Bratz by wiping their faces off and making them tree change. Whew, that was a lot to say. Okay, but yeah, but Barbie and Bratz both have their places. But for me personally, and I might be a little biased, as a woman of color, I do prefer Bratz dolls because of their individuality and not seeing a lot of dolls that look like me. And then there's these things called fresh dolls, which are mostly black dolls, and they're made by a black woman named Dr. Lisa, the founder of EPI, and she makes articulated male black dolls. So that's really good. Get on it, Mattel. Make articulated dolls. And Bratz dolls also have become articulated as well, the newer ones. So I do like the fact that they have bendy knees and elbows. Some of them do. But anyways, that was a lot to say. So those are my thoughts and opinions on Bratz versus Barbie. And if you like this video, or Barbie versus Bratz. But if you like this video, leave a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I'm always interested to hear feedback. And comment your acronym for Bratz. Anyways, this is Carly signing off, and hope you have a good one.